I'm actually pretty glad to see so many people. You've been hearing all day long about why GenAI is amazing and why you should use it. So I'm pretty surprised that there are so many people trying to understand why they should not use it, actually. I'm not talking today about why you should not use GenAI, rather why you should not trust it, actually. So let's start with a small example. This is something I ran last week, trying to ask ChatGPT to give me 3 citations from Louis Pasteur about creating wounds. Great, it answers 3 answers, great reference, and this looks pretty great, right? Yeah, and then I went on Google trying to check the reference themselves. Turns out the first one is not from Louis Pasteur. It's from another author. At least it's a good citation, but it's not from Louis Pasteur. Second one was a wrong reference. It's from Louis Pasteur this time, but it's not from a book. It's from a lecture he gave in Lille. So not a good reference, again. And the last one is not a reference at all. Like, it's wrong author, wrong everything. So I wanted to save time by asking ChatGPT something, and I ended up checking for 20 minutes, and at the end I have nothing. And this is what you can end up with GenAI. And I could have easily trusted this at the first place. Why? Because AI models are actually designed to fool us. And that's pretty important to understand. They are designed to fool us, in the very sense of this. This is what's happening behind the scene. When you're training a model, a language model, actually you feed a sentence to the model, and each time you're going to feed the beginning of the sentence, you stop it, and you ask the model to predict the next word. And it's trying to predict the next word. So in this case, the cat meows, and the dog, and trying to predict the next word. That should be barks. And the language model is not predicting one word. It's actually predicting a set of words with probabilities. And in this case, it predicts moves instead of barks, because it's not been trained enough. And so you will then, in second phase, show him that, oh no, it's actually barks, and it will learn it in a way that it will adjust the probabilities so that next time it sees the same kind of sentence, then barks would be higher in the probability and moves would be lower. And this is the way models have been trained. They read thousands, millions of sentences, any books you can read, any website you can crawl, they have read it. And at the end, they are very, very good at predicting what is the most plausible word in a given context. So actually, the models are not here to understand anything. They do not understand that a dog barks. They do not remember facts. They are just trained to predict the most plausible sentence in a given context. So when you're asking a question to ChatGPT, it's actually providing you the most plausible answer to this question, not the best answer. So I think if you need to understand something today, to remember something, this is the one. Language models don't aim for truth, they aim for plausibility. They do not aim for truth because they do not remember anything. They do not know any facts. They cannot know what is true or what is wrong. They just try to be plausible. And that's why they're actually designed to fool us, because any answer will always be plausible. And that's actually a big concern. This is a survey we conducted on AI users in the life science industry. 95% of them prioritize the source and reference because of this very reason. You need to have the source and the reference to check if the AI answer is good. 90% of them said that reliability was an issue for them to adopt GenAI, which is really concerning. And the one I'm most interested about is the last one. Actually, the users tend to spend 20% extra time of their time checking from AI response. So they use AI, and then they use 20% of that time just checking for the answers, which is very concerning. That is it even wasting time for them? So when you hear all that, you might question the very usage of GenAI in your company. But actually, there are good ways to do this. Language models are on the right. This is what I call AI writer. Their main purpose is to write good content, They write in good English, any kind of language, by the way. They follow pretty well what you are asking for. And they are able to simulate some kind of reasoning on basic stacks. So that's pretty great for this. But what you need is an AI librarian. And this is a missing piece in a lot of AI stacks. You need an AI that is specialized in retrieving facts and learning actual knowledge. As we said, AI language models do not learn anything, do not learn facts. They do not understand anything. The AI librarian is specialized in learning facts, in retrieving actual facts. And they have to work together. So this is how it goes. When you have a question from a user, instead of directly asking to any language model for the answers, it needs, behind the scene, to go first to the AI librarian. And this one will retrieve the best document, the best fact, the best website, the best paragraph, images, whatever, to answer this question. And it will also analyze the question. Maybe it needs to be split into 3 different questions first. Lots of different, it's pretty hard to do a good AI librarian. And when it fetches the right pieces of information, then it will pass it on to the AI writer that will be able to craft the best content according to the specification. Maybe it's a long answer, maybe you need a structured way, maybe you need a table, and this is the specialty on the last one. This way you gain 2 things. First, it's way more accurate, way more than before, because it's actually grounded in facts. And the second thing is the language model will be able to provide references. And that's amazing, because you've provided to it. So you'll be able to check it. That's the first thing you need, an AI librarian within your company. That will change a lot of things. And there is a second thing that is pretty important, is if you remember, I told you that 20% extra time spent to check answers. This will help you, because you will have reference, but you will still need to open the document, maybe a 400-page document, and try to find the information lost in here. So you will still need some time to check the answers. So the second thing you need is an interface where that is all the check process. So there are a lot of ways to do this. This is an example from our platform. So you can see in the middle in here, those are AI-generated extractions. So pretty easy, this one, extracting authors. And each time it's answering a question, you can see 2 things, very important. First, there is an explain button in here that is able to explain exactly all the reasoning steps behind this answer. You're able to audit what has been happening. And the second thing is there is always a reference, or several ones, that will directly crawl to the location in the document where you can find this information. This is tremendously important. Having a way to check in 2 seconds exactly where you find information, is it true, is it wrong? So this is those 2 things you need. Librarian, so something that will be very good at fetching the right information and providing to a language model, and then integrate this in your interface in a way you can easily check, because you should not trust the answer even if you have a good librarian. I'm already at the end, so don't hesitate to see us in the booth if you have any question. And you have 2 minutes for questions. Yes?
So you explained very nicely how you train the AI writer to be
yeah.
vanilla LLM. How do you train the librarian? Can you tell us something?
Exactly. That's a good point. So how a librarian works is by structuring the information, so extracting good content, lots of steps in the librarian. First, you need to extract correctly the data. It's pretty hard. Extracting data from a PDF, it can be a scanned document with poor scanning, it can be in the wrong place, there are images, there's a lot of things. So first, you need a good extraction pipeline, and lots of ways to train it. Then, when you have extracted the information, you need to structure it. What's the title, subtitle, subsection, what is the context? So you need to retrieve any information with the context. And once you have all this knowledge, like with good chunks, correctly crafted, then there is embedding models. May have heard about this. So you're projecting this into a mathematical space where two similar paragraphs would be close in this mathematical space. And this is where you can actually train things. We have specific models for pharma, because the way you describe the language is very different in different industries. So you can also train it for different purposes, for different industries. You can train it in here. And then there's all the on-the-fly retrieval pipeline. When you ask a question, what do you do with this question? Do you search for similar paragraph to this question? Not the best. You need probably to split the question into smaller questions and then generate keywords that will help you search it in the database, retrieve the most probable fact, check if they are actually relevant, maybe fetch other things. So it's those are AI agents that we have under the hood that trying to craft the best deck of facts to pass it to the AI then. Yes?
If you can answer, of course, what kind of embedding model are you using? Which one is the most performant for
Well, actually, it changes every month, I guess. And it's the same for AI writer. On the right, like the language models, it's evolving quite a lot, and we have a pipeline that evaluates it every single week or month, depending on all this. So we have evaluation pipeline, and we select the best, and we also fine-tune some on our data set. So I cannot really answer this question. It changes, and you should be changing also. The metrics?
Yes.
So how we can evaluate?
You have specific benchmark for the retrieval?
Yes. So we have some experts in the company. So we have people actually evaluating it, and we have crafted some data set with questions and the fact that should be retrieved according to the question, and we try to make it as hard as possible. So mix it with lots of other parts that looks the same but not exactly, and evaluate how much we can retrieve it. For the generate? Oh yeah, yeah, of course, the same. We just conducted the ones this week, by the way, about like how it's able to answer questions, how it's able to generate good content. So the question was about how do we evaluate this. This is pretty hard to evaluate, by the way. You need human to evaluate, and sometimes you evaluate also by AI, just providing two answers and say, okay, which one is the best? And this is a major topic that we'll still be investigating. I think it's a very open question. Sorry. So if you have any other question, you can find me on the booth. Thanks.